Let's talk about spending money to save money. I know, it sounds like one of those cheap marketing slogans, but hear me out. For a long time, I fell into the trap of frugal fatigue. I thought that being good with money meant saying no to everything. No new shoes, no gadgets, no upgrades. Just hoarding every cent in a high-yield savings account and watching the numbers crawl up.
But after a few years of living like that, I realized something frustrating. I wasn't getting wealthier. I was just getting more tired. My cheap lifestyle was actually costing me a fortune in time, energy, and repetitive costs.
So, I changed my philosophy. I started looking at my bank account not as a fortress to guard, but as a toolkit. I started making what I call ROI purchases, things that pay for themselves, either in cold hard cash or in the mental clarity I need to make more money. Today, I'm walking you through the 9 specific purchases that fundamentally shifted my financial trajectory. These aren't luxury items, they are investments in my future self.
The first one is something most people overlook, a high-quality mattress. Now wait, don't roll your eyes. This isn't a furniture commercial. Think about the math of your life. If you're sleeping 7 to 8 hours a night, you're spending a third of your existence on that rectangle of foam. For years, I slept on a hand-me-down mattress that was basically a collection of springs held together by hope. I woke up stiff, I felt foggy until noon, and I was chugging $6 lattes just to stay awake at my desk. When I finally dropped $2,000 on a proper, supportive mattress, my productivity exploded. I didn't need the caffeine crutch anymore. I was sharper. I was finishing my work 2 hours earlier. That purchase bought me back my mornings. And in the world of finance, energy is the ultimate currency. If you're tired, you make bad, impulsive financial decisions. Sleep is the foundation of a solid portfolio.
Second on the list is a professional tax consultation. In the US, we're taught to just plug our numbers into a software and hope for the best. But when my financial life started getting even a little bit complex, a side hustle here, some investments there, I realized I was probably leaving money on the table. I paid $400 for a 2-hour session with a CPA who actually specialized in my field. In those 2 hours, she found 3 deductions I didn't know existed and restructured how I looked at my quarterly payments. That $400 investment saved me nearly $3,000 in my first year. It taught me a vital lesson. Stop trying to be an expert in everything. Pay the person who has spent 10,000 hours studying the rules so you don't have to. Third, a quality reusable water bottle and a high-end coffee setup. This sounds like Frugal 101, but it's about the quality of the purchase. I used to buy those cheap $5 plastic bottles that would leak or make the water taste like a chemical plant, so I'd end up buying a Fiji water at the gas station anyway. I finally bought a heavy-duty, insulated flask that keeps ice for 24 hours. Same with coffee. I stopped buying the cheap bitter stuff and bought a high-end burr grinder and a French press. Why? Because it made the at-home experience better than the Starbucks experience. I wasn't depriving myself of a latte, I was choosing a better one that I made myself for 30 cents. When the alternative at home is actually better than the retail option, you don't need willpower to save money. You just do it because it makes sense. Fourth is a Kindle or an Audible subscription. Books are the highest ROI investment in existence. Think about it. You are paying $15 for the distilled wisdom that took someone 20 years to learn. That is a cheat code for life. But the key for me was the convenience of the purchase. Having a library in my pocket meant that instead of scrolling through mindless doom posts while waiting at the doctor's office or sitting on a flight, I was learning about real estate, psychology, or negotiation. One single idea from one $15 book once helped me negotiate a $5,000 raise. That is a return on investment you will never find in the stock market. Fifth, a reliable, high-speed internet connection. If you work from home or even just manage your bills online, a laggy connection is a tax on your sanity. I used to settle for the basic plan because it was $30 cheaper. But the dropped Zoom calls, the slow loading times, and the frustration added up to hours of lost time every month. Time that I could have spent on a side project or just resting. In the digital age, your internet speed is your commute. Don't have a shitty commute. Sixth, a gym membership you actually use. This is a long-term financial play. The biggest threat to your wealth in the United States isn't a stock market crash, it's the healthcare system. One major health crisis can wipe out decades of savings. I started viewing my gym membership as a preventative maintenance fee. It's much cheaper to pay $60 a month now to stay fit than to pay $60,000 later for heart surgery or chronic back issues. Plus, the mental clarity and stress relief I get from a workout keeps me from stress spending on things I don't need. A quality kitchen knife and a cast iron skillet. This changed my relationship with food. Most people hate cooking because they have dull knives and pans that stick. It's a chore. But when I bought just one, really good Japanese chef's knife, prep work became satisfying. I started cooking at home 5 or 6 nights a week, not because I was trying to be cheap, but because I actually enjoyed the process. My eating out budget dropped by 70% without me feeling like I was missing out. Invest in the tools that make the boring, responsible choice feel like a luxury. 8th, password manager and security software. We live in an era of identity theft and digital fraud. I spend $50 on a top-tier password manager and some extra security layers for my accounts. About 6 months ago, I got a notification that someone tried to breach one of my old accounts. Because of that software, I was locked down tight. If they had gotten in and drained even one of my smaller accounts, the cost would have been 10 times what I paid for the software. In 2026, digital defense is a non-negotiable part of a financial plan. Lastly, number 9, an emergency service subscription. For me, this was AAA, roadside assistance. For years, I told myself, I'll just call a tow truck if I need one. Then I got a flat tire in the middle of a rainstorm on a holiday weekend. The tow charge was astronomical, and the stress was worse. Now I pay a small annual fee. I've used it twice. Both times, it turned a potential $300 nightmare into a no-cost minor inconvenience. This is about buying peace of mind. When you have these small safety nets in place, you stop living in fear of the what if. You can focus on growth because you've already insured yourself against the small disasters. The common thread here? None of these purchases were about stuff. They were about removing friction. When you remove the friction from your sleep, your health, your tools, and your security, you free up your most valuable asset, your brain. You stop playing defense against your own life and start playing offense. Financial freedom isn't just about having $1 million. It's about having a life that is designed to work for you, not against you. Every dollar you spend is a vote for the person you want to become. Spend them on the things that make you sharper, healthier, and more secure. I want to hear from you. What is the one purchase you made that felt like a splurge at the time, but ended up saving you money or changing your life in the long run? Let's talk about it in the comments. I'll see you in the next video.